the Reef Institute, our mission is coral conservation through education, research, and restoration. Our vision is simple but powerful. Together, we save the ocean. For the last 7 years, we have accomplished this in a 3,000 square foot facility, but now it's time to grow. When the coral starts growing or something happens and the skeleton breaks off, it comes closer to land. Then, what do you observe about these roots? When we launched the Reef Institute as a nonprofit, my first role was education coordinator. At the time, we were known as Healthy Aquatics Marine Institute of Florida. In those early days, most of our focus was on education. It took about 4 years before we received permits to hold Caribbean corals. In the early days, the word that I would use to define us is scrappy and efficient, and probably the word MacGyver. We MacGyvered everything together. One of our core values to this day is creative problem solving, and I feel like that came from those early days when we got started. But as reefs off the coast of Florida and throughout the Caribbean began disappearing, we knew we had to do more. I quickly became executive director, a role I've now held for 8 years. Within our original 3,000 square foot facility, we preserved coral genetics on land, outplanted juvenile corals back into the ocean, and engaged our community in protecting what was at risk. But eventually, we ran out of space. And in 2023, when Florida's coral reefs faced devastated bleaching, we took in corals from across the state. We realized we needed more room, not just for us, but to support others. It just made sense to keep asking the question, what more can we do, and how more can we help? Thanks to the generosity of donors and key grants, we signed the lease on a new home, a 23,000 square foot warehouse, more than 7 times the size of our old space. With support from the FCR3 initiative and our community, we built out the facility. And now we brought it to life. This space has become transformative to our mission. We've expanded our living biobank, been able to care for more corals, and continue to raise and settle not only hundreds, but hundreds of thousands of coral babies that will return to the ocean. More babies means more reef and more hope for Florida's coast. This space marks, for me, momentum. If we could do this, what more can we do? Where else can we go? How much more is there to accomplish? In a world where the ocean is falling apart and the reefs are falling apart, and it just feels like everything keeps going sideways and there's nothing we can do to fix that problem, here we can fix the problems that we can, and we can make a real difference. Now we can go further. We've created dedicated research areas where scientists can develop new solutions for our ever-changing coral crisis. We're building spaces for endangered corals, establishing lifelines for species on the brink. And we're designing areas for partners and emergency response so we can act quickly and effectively when disaster strikes. This building also gives our interns, coral partners, and other practitioners room to collaborate and train in ways that we never could before. Through virtual education, classrooms anywhere can now have a front row seat to coral conservation, inspiring the next generation of ocean students. But our work is far from finished. When I look to the future, the reality is that if we have come this far in this short of time, I can't wait to see what we do in the next decade. If we keep this momentum going, I believe in the next 2, 5, 10 years, we're going to see a real difference made in our reef. The reef still needs us. And here's the thing, it's going to take all of us working together to make a real difference. We need your help to keep this momentum going. Together, we save the ocean.